Hey there everyone. So today we are going to start with the endocrine physiology. So it is a part of physiology after the renal physiology. Okay. So we're going to study the endocrine physiology now. So this video is going to be about the introductory part. So in this video we are going to cover all the basics and the introduction. Okay. So let's start. What is endocrine physiology? It is a branch of physiology that deals with the study of process involved in regulation and integration of cells and organs by a specialized chemical. Okay, the specialized chemical. And what do we name that chemical as? We name that chemical as hormone. Okay, so endocrine physiology is a branch of physiology that deals with the study of processes involved in regulation and integration. Okay, regulation and integration of the cells and organs by a specialized chemical known as hormone. Now, where is this hormone word derived from? It is a Greek, or it comes from a Greek origin, and it is called as hormone. The meaning of this is to excite. Okay, to excite. Okay, it excites the organs, the tissues, etc., to release, I mean, it stimulates them by hormones for the purpose of growth, regulation, integration. Whatever we saw in the definition, it applies here. Now, what is hormone? The definition of hormone is they are derived as specialized organic molecules. Okay, hormone, as we know that it is a specialized organic molecule that are synthesized by endocrine glands. Okay, there are two types of glands that I would like to talk about. So there are two types of glands. One is the endocrine gland, another one is the exocrine glands. Endocrine glands are also called as the ductless glands, and exocrine are called as the duct glands. Okay, they contain the duct and they do not contain the duct. So the endocrines, whatever the secretion of the endocrine is there, it is directly released into the bloodstream, and exocrine through the ducts. Okay, so yeah. So by the endocrine glands, they're synthesized by the endocrine glands tissue or glands of the tissue in response to the stimuli like any stimuli it can be. If we take an example of the adrenaline hormone, which is also called as a flight or fight hormone commonly. So whenever a person sees, suppose he sees a snake in his bedroom, so the stimulation occurs, that acts as a stimuli, and the adrenaline releases, and then he starts running, shouting for help and other things. So this is called as the stimuli. So this is the definition. Okay, now what are the important functions or the important characteristics of the hormones? So we shall see one by one. The hormones, they are circulate in the bloodstream. Okay, they circulate in the blood. Endocrine glands are those glands which are ductless, as I already mentioned. They pour the secretion in the bloodstream. Okay, they pour whatever secretion is there of the hormones, they pour it in the bloodstream. Each target cell has specific receptors and its affinity to hormone, and they are diverse. Okay, so different types of tissues have different types of target cells have the specific receptors, and the hormones bind on this receptor, and every single tissue or every single organ has its own affinity to bind the hormone. Okay, so they are diverse. Okay, there are so many types of this, and they are very diverse, variety of affinities. Okay, different types of affinities. Now, what are the functions of the hormone? So these are the characteristics, or you can say the important points about the hormone. Now these are the functions of the hormone. So change in cell function, definitely this is one of the important thing, that it helps in change in the function of the cell by binding to the receptor. Now control of the senescence. Okay, like if a person is aging, so it totally depends on the hormone, the age and all. It's like puberty, adolescence, and then old age and all, is all controlled by the hormones. Okay, behavioral changes. Okay, behavioral changes also commonly you can refer, example can be the mood swings occurring during the menstrual cycle, in the menstruation period, due to drop in the estrogen levels. So mood swings can often happen. So estrogen is also a sort of it is a hormone, right? So behavioral changes can also be that is also a function of the hormones. Regulation of fluid compartments, okay, regulation of the fluid compartment, okay, the the fluid compartment and stuff, it maintains the fluid, the balance, the volume, everything. Now, digestion, utilization, storage, metabolism, and nutrients, storage and all stuff. Then digestion, storage, metabolism, these all are also carried out by the hormones. And if the hormones are disrupted, or like they're disturbed, if the hormone secretion is either too low or too high, this all function will be altered and it leads to health issues. Okay, now reproductive function as well, as we know that estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, FSH, LH, all of these are the reproductive hormones, and they help in reaching the puberty and for continuing the generation one after other. So this is a very important, very important point. Okay, now its other function is alteration in the body mass and composition. Oh my god, sorry. Okay, in the body mass and the body composition, alteration in all this, like if a person is gaining too much weight, or too like if he is losing a lot of weight, that totally depends on the metabolism. And thyroid hormones are responsible, like hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism. Okay, alteration in the body for maintenance of the mass and the composition. Now, control of growth and development. Okay, growth and development, like the growth hormone helps in the growth. So there are so many hormones that help in the growth and development of a particular individual. So these are the functions of the hormones. Okay, now what are the endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are those glands which secrete, okay, the endocrine glands are those glands which secrete the hormones, and they are the ductless glands. Okay, they are the ductless glands. So there are major glands and minor glands. So see, we have two types of glands, the major gland and the minor gland. So what are the major glands? We have let me take the red color. We have hypothalamus, pituitary, and hypothalamus. Just remember it together. Then we have thyroid and parathyroid. You also have to remember it, because thyroid and parathyroid and hypothalamus and pituitary, okay, the location is nearby, so you can easily remember it. Adrenaline and endocrine, pancreas, gonads, and the pineal gland. These are the major endocrine glands. Now the minor one are the thymus. Okay, the thymus is a minor endocrine gland. Kidney, as it releases erythropoietin and okay, the erythropoietin, renin as well. Okay, now the heart also releases hormones. The lung release hormones, the GI tract, and the placenta. Okay, so these are the minor endocrine glands, and these one are the major endocrine glands. So the hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenaline. Sorry, not adrenaline, it's adrenal. Adrenal. Okay, however you pronounce it. Okay, then the endocrine, pancreas, gonads, and the pineal glands are the major endocrine glands. Thymus, kidney, heart, lungs, gastrointestinal tract, and the placenta. These are the minor endocrine glands. Now, moving on to the next topic. It is analogy with nervous and immune system. Okay, so similarity with the, we'll see the similarity with the nervous system, and then we'll see the similarity with the immune system. Okay, first with the nervous system. Both are major system of communication. Okay, both are major system of communication. Okay, like nervous system, it communicates with the body, and it gives the body what all it requires, what all is harmful for it, what all is good for it. So it helps in communicating with the organs, with the tissues, with the other things, or the cells of the body as well. So even the hormones, they play a major role in system of the communication. Okay, so the nervous system as well as the endocrine system, both are major system of communication, but they have physiological analogy. Okay, both of them require stimulus and operate on feedback principle. Okay, both of them, they require stimulus. Until and unless you don't have a stimulus, they are not going to work. Okay, and they operate on the feedback principle. We have two. We have the positive feedback and the negative feedback. For example, if you take the example of the oxytocin, right, which helps in the contraction of the endometrium during the childbirth. Okay, so endometrium or myometrium, I'm not sure about it. because I totally forgot. Okay, both of them require stimulus and operate on the feedback principle. Okay, the positive and the negative feedback. Neurons secrete the neurotransmitter on its axon terminal, and neurotransmitter is a hormone. Neurotransmitter, it is hormonal in nature, and some of them are also called as the neurohormones. Okay, the neurohormones. Okay, so yeah, they are integrated with each other. As we have already studied, they have a great system of communication, and they are regulated and integrated. So they are regulated and integrated with each other. Okay, like they go hand in hand. Okay, without the nervous system, there would not be proper endocrine system, and without the endocrine system there would not be a proper um, nervous system. So these are the things that are similar to the nervous system. Similarity with the nervous system. A similarity with the immune system. The immunocompetent cells secrete chemicals which are known as the cytokinins. Your teacher can ask this in the class or during the viva, so please remember it. Okay, so what are the chemicals secreted by the immunocompetent cells? So those are the cytokinins. Okay, hormones, they are synthesized and secreted by the immune cells. Okay, and see, cytokinin, it modulates the endocrine gland hormones, and in turn the endocrine gland hormones, those modulate the functions of the immunocytes. Okay, and the immunocytes, the immune cells, the immune competent cells, they again produce chemical substances like the cytokinin. So this is very important. These are the similarities with the nervous system and similarities with the immune system. Now, types of hormones. Okay, there are three types of hormones that we're going to see. We have the protein or peptide hormones, PNP, protein and peptide hormones, or protein or the peptide hormones. We have the amino acid hormones and the steroid type of hormones. Okay, so the protein or peptide made up of peptide chain. Okay, they are made up of the peptide chain. Let me change the color. Made up of the peptide chains. Oligopeptides means they contain less than 10 amino acids, such as example for those are oxytocin and ADH. Okay, the oxytocin and ADH are very much important, and they contain less than 10 amino acids. And then we have polypeptides. Poly means more, so they are more than the 10 amino acids, more than 10 amino acids. Example is the insulin and the growth hormone are more than 10. See, growth hormone, how do you remember it? Growth hormone, it helps in the growth, so it has to have more than 10. This way you have to remember it. And then oxytocin and ADH. See, ADH, there are only 3 letters in this, so just remember that it is less, it contains less number of letters, and so it also has less number of amino acids. And oxytocin, it's easy to remember, okay? O for oligodendrites and O for oxytocin. Alright, now for the amino acids, we have they are also called as the amine hormones. Okay, they are also called as the amine hormone, and most of them are derived from a single amino acid, different types. So we have dopamine, epi and norepinephrine, and the thyroxine, derived from the tyrosine. Okay, and they are usually hydrophobic. One thing, important thing that you have to remember and mark it down. So we have dopamine, epi and norepinephrine, and the thyroxine. These are the amine hormones. Now for the last one, we have the steroids. Steroids, just remember that it is derived from the cholesterol. Okay, they synthesized from the cholesterol, and one thing we have to know that they are lipid soluble. So if something is lipid soluble, it must be hydrophobic, and if something is hydrophobic, it has to be lipid soluble. Okay, so you remember this one important point. So they are synthesized, the steroids are synthesized from the cholesterol, and they're lipid soluble, and they are hydrophobic in nature. So the examples for these are adrenal cortex and the gonad hormones. Okay, the adrenal cortex and the gonad hormones are the steroid. Okay, they are synthesized from the cholesterol, and they are lipid soluble, and they are also hydrophobic. Now we are done with the introductory part, and now we are going to see the images from the textbook. That's the GK Pal textbook. Okay, so we have pituitary, we also have hypothalamus. So this is the thyroid, and also we have the parathyroid, and in the center we have the pineal gland, and then top of the kidneys we have the suprarenal gland, and we have the pancreas, the endocrine pancreas, and we also have the kidney, ovary, testes. Ovary in case of females and testes in case of males, and we also have heart, thymus, lungs, GI tract. Okay, these are the minor ones, okay, the minor endocrine glands. So now let us see what are the hormones and what are the main hormones and what are the functions of those hormones. Okay, so I'll be using, let me check it out. I need to reduce the size of this. Perfect. Okay, we have hypothalamus, okay, all releasing and release inhibiting hormones. Okay, so stimulating hormones or inhibitory hormones are responsible for this. Okay, and control pituitary hormone secretion. Okay, the hypothalamus, what it does, it controls the release of the pituitary hormones. Now the anterior pituitary and the posterior pituitary, we have the growth hormone, TSH, ACTH, LH and FSH, and the prolactin. Okay, this is a thyroid stimulating hormone, this is LH luteinizing hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, and a prolactin. We'll see that in the subsequent videos of this. Now it helps in growth and development. The TSH stimulates the thyroid, as I've already told. ACTH stimulates the adrenocortical hormones, release of those hormones, stimulation of those, and LH and FSH control ovarian and testicular functions like the development, the process of spermatogenesis, the maturation of the ovary and all is controlled by the LH and FSH. And prolactin promotes milk synthesis and secretion. Lactin word is there, so just remember it helps in helps in milk synthesization or the milk synthesization synthesis. ADH helps in the watery absorption from the kidneys and the vasoconstriction, as we have already studied in the renal physiology, but the video, I haven't made the video on renal physiology yet, so I'll soon make the video on it. Okay, now we have the oxytocin. Oxytocin is milk ejection and parturition hormone, and sometimes it is also called as the love hormone or the binding hormone. Okay, whenever you feel good, so you have release of the dopamine and the oxytocin. So yeah, now T3 and T4, they help in the tissue metabolism, that is the thyroid hormones. And cortisol, okay, let's see from here. The anterior posterior pituitary gives off two hormones, as you have seen, that is the ADH and the oxytocin. Okay, ADH and the oxytocin. How do you remember it? AO or OA, just remember it that way. Thyroid, we have T3 and T4. Adrenaline cortex, we have cortisol and aldosterone. What do they do? Metabolism, permissive actions for other hormones, anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic functions, etc. are given by the cortisol. And stress, cortisol is also called as a stress hormone, right? So, and the sodium and water reabsorption and the potassium secretion in the kidneys by the aldosterone. Okay, we have seen this aldosterone, angiotensin, aldosterone, renin system, the RAS mechanism we have seen, right? Now the adrenaline medulla, catecholamines help in metabolism, sympathetic activation. Then we have pancreas, release the very important hormone insulin, glucose entry and utilization by the cells. Parathyroid gives a parathormone and regulation of plasma calcium and phosphate levels. We shall study the importance of the calcium balance, the calcium homeostasis, which is very important for the regulation of the hormones and other things. And testes, for release of the testosterone, help in the production of sperms, that is spermatogenesis, and male reproductive development, and also bringing out secondary sexual characters during the age of puberty. And the ovaries, we have the ovaries releasing the estrogen and the progesterone. My pencil isn't working. Okay, estrogen and the progesterone, female reproductive functions like the growth and maturation, and also it helps in maintaining the pregnancy and all. Now the placenta plays a very important role. It releases HCG and this human mammotropin and human chorionic gonadotropin hormones. Okay, and these help in growth of the corpus luteum and the fetal development. And the corpus luteum, it secretes hormone for the maintenance of the pregnancy. Now the kidney releases very important hormones that I've already discussed, that is the renin, erythropoietin, and 1,2-dihydroxychloroqualciferol, vitamin A, what you call. Okay, so renin, erythropoietin, renin, conversion of angiotensin to the angiotensinogen to the angiotensin 1, as we have already seen in the renal physiology. Erythropoietin, as the name suggests, for the presence of erythropoiesis. And bone mineralization, that is vitamin D, that's 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol. Now we have the adipocytes, heart, and the GI tract. Adipocytes, leptin, heart, ANP, and GI tract, the GI hormones. We shall study this in the gastrointestinal physiology as well. So it inhibits the food intake and stimulates thermogenesis, and natriuresis, diuresis, vasodilation, and decreased PP caused by the released hormone released by the heart, that is the ANP. Now the GI tracts, helping in the GI functions like the pepsin, trypsin, etc. Okay, we shall study that further in this chapter and also in the gastrointestinal physiology. Okay, now this is the last but not the least, this is the last table of this video. Now the peptide hormones come on. The important peptide hormones are the insulin family, like the insulin like growth factor, and the relaxin. Glycoproteins like LH, luteinizing hormone, FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, TSH, thyrostimulating hormone, and HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Is it so? Yeah, chorionic gonadotropin, correct. Now the growth hormone, the GH family, this is the growth hormone, prolactin, and human placental lactogen, that is HPL. Okay. And secretin family, secretin, glucagon, VIP, GIP. These are the secretin family of the peptide hormones. Peptide hormones are more as compared to the steroids and as compared to the amino acid derivatives. And others like the ANP released by the heart, we have calcitonin, we have CCK, ADH, inhibin, somatostatin, which is opposite to the growth hormone, somatostatin, ACTH, and the parath hormone. Okay, these are others. And the AA derivatives, we have epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. And ionated amino acids T3 and T4. My kitty is making sounds. Okay, so this T3 and T4, that is the ionated amino acids. Steroid hormones, we have the glucocorticoids, mineralocorticoids, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, 125 dihydroxychloroquine. These are the steroid hormone, and this is for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and the new video will be uploaded soon. Thank you so much.